So from then onwards, I had this notion in my mind that maybe VLSI is the career for me, and that's what I should target about in future. But given the scenario of industry, or the the job situation in India, we had like a ratio of 1:10 for the number of jobs in uh, other areas versus the jobs in software industry. So given the odds of getting a hardware design job was very less, so I kept myself open to taking up courses from the software domain as well every semester, to ensure that I still am fit enough to work in the software industry. So yeah, Infosys was my first offer, and then 3 months later, in December, we had a pool campus placement in Bhubaneswar, NIST, and another university where CoreEL Technologies visited, and yeah, that was where I got an offer from CoreEL Technologies. It was a 2-round interview, and out of all the more than 100 students present over there, they offered jobs to 2 people, and I was one of them.
Congratulations on that. Okay, so I mean, in the CoreEL, you are working in the which domain?
Yeah, so that's where my journey started at CoreEL. So yeah, even though I had a offer letter from a giant software company, I chose to follow my passion to work in the VLSI industry, even though the organization was not so popular, the work was not so known, the odds, the level of uncertainty was higher. Still, I went with my intuition, and at CoreEL I had a great team. I was part of a great team where they were working on FPGA based boards for the defense labs of India. So we were working on radar signals, and signal processing, and stuff like that. And my work involved the hardware design, verification, and validation of these boards.
Okay, so after CoreEL, you moved to another company, semiconductor company, right? So how
Yes.
was that experience, and how did you get that?
So in CoreEL, I had a great exposure. I had a lot of freedom to explore various areas of the VLSI design. Like I was not restricted to my job role. I had the freedom to work in verification, validation, and also interact with software and hardware design teams, actual hardware design teams, to learn their stuff as well. So at some point, I felt I felt like I should explore some opportunities in the ASIC domain as well, since CoreEL was very much restricted to FPGA based designs. I wanted to explore the ASIC based design, and then I started looking out for opportunities, and I landed up after a few failures, of course. I landed up with an opportunity from Intel, where I was part of a imaging group, and the team was responsible for making image processing IPs and integrating them. So there, I joined the team, and I was pretty young in the team. Most of the being given the history of Intel and its legacy. Most of the people working in the team were more than 10 years experienced, and I was a kid with some 3 years of experience in the team, and they treated me just like another fresher. Even though they had respect, my manager had a lot of respect towards my exposure, my experience across the various areas of VLSI, but the team treated me as a fresher, and
Mhm.
they didn't mind sharing all the information, because there was a steep learning curve when I moved from FPGA to ASIC. So in the initial few months, I got great support from all the team members in understanding the flow and understanding the project. And yes, I had a good run at Intel. I got a freedom to work in various projects, and my manager trusted me in my work. And yeah, that was fun time.
Yeah, I
I
think
just all my time at Intel because it was pretty recent, less than a year back I was working. So yeah,
it is actually important, right, to have support of manager to have a proper career growth. Otherwise, I think it's very difficult.
totally. And thanks for bringing this up. I want to remind how great a manager I had at both CoreEL and Intel. If you don't mind, I want to just share a few instances of both the
Sure, sure.
cases.
Mhm.
So the manager I had at CoreEL was so friendly and so supportive that there were instances where I was stuck with debug for a couple of days, or more than a couple of days, and manager sat beside me and helped me in debugging. That is so rare. He need not do that. There were other senior members in my group, even though it was a very small group. I had senior members working with me, but still the manager did not hesitate to sit with me and walk me through how the process of debugging is done.
Mhm.
How should you approach? That's where I would say, like, that's something called leading by an example. You can always inspire people by giving a lecture for 30
Mhm.
minutes, given making them attend the inspirational talks. But if you walk with them across the journey, I think that would create the highest impact on that individual.
Mhm.
And I was fortunate enough to have managers like that. Even when I moved to Intel, my manager at Intel was so supportive that he always kept pushing me towards pursuing my targets. He kept reminding me, this is what you're meant for, you should keep doing. And he gave me an overview of how the industry works. You should understand, you are growing, you are building your career, you are in a mid senior range, and it's very much important to understand
Mhm.
the system overall. Unless you have a bigger picture, you won't grow. You will just stay in your own work, and that won't help you in the long run. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely, as you mentioned, it's really important to have supportive managers at your work.
Mhm.